This is Getting Answers, Western Mass News.
Thanks for joining me for this week's edition of Western Mass News Getting Answers. Yes, the last program of 2025. Every week I'm joined by political and business leaders and other newsmakers to talk about the issues that impact all of us. Well, this week we're going to talk about Springfield's Hope Center for the Arts with its artistic director, Isaac Eddy. Isaac, good to see you.
Thanks so much for having me.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
I think we should start. The Hope Center for the Arts is the old city stage, but we'll talk about that. But I think a good starting point is to tell us about the Hope Center for the Arts and its mission.
I would love to talk about its mission. The Hope Center for the Arts, the primary mission is to provide free arts education for all Springfield youth. But we're doing it in a facility that is the most technologically advanced facility that you could possibly have for a sit-down venue, and also these extra studio spaces to teach young folks all aspects of the arts. But because we have this theater that is so technologically advanced, we are able to host the best performances possible for this area. So we've had a full slew of performers this season come through and perform on our main stage, as well as providing free arts education for Springfield youth.
It's a perfect venue, and the other part of it is it's so good to see life back in that part of Springfield now too.
That's the biggest honor for me, is not only to provide arts education, but also to provide such top-notch arts performance for this specific area in Massachusetts as well. And it feels really good to bring it back to such an important part of our state and such an important part of the city.
Where'd the idea for the Hope Center come from?
So Bob Bolduc, who owned Pride gas stations, he did a big shift when he sold all of his gas stations. Thank goodness. He realized that he wanted to continue to invest in Springfield and in the area. And so he created an organization with his wife Roberta called Hope for Youth and Families. And this organization, he was thinking of it first as a kind of two-legged stool. He wanted to focus on literacy. He wanted to invest real money in helping the literacy rates of Springfield youth go up, and so he invested a whole bunch of research and a whole bunch of staff members to help with literacy in Springfield schools, and then also college preparation. And then after that, he saw the city stage. He was interested in arts education, and he realizes, himself not coming from the arts, he realizes how important arts education is for the whole self, for all human development, not just for artists, but for everybody. And so he looked to the city stage space. It had been shuttered in 2018, and he asked the city if he could rent it. And they said, well, why don't you buy it? So they did a whole bidding, and he was the top bidder, and so he invested millions in the renovation of the space, and that's how the Hope Center was begun. Thanks for Hope and Youth and Families.
Yeah, you look at that too, is that Bob and his wife, they could have taken the money they made from the gas stations and just said, okay, this is good, we're going to retire and everything else, but that's not part of his DNA.
It's not. I mean, he is working every single day. He's in the office today,
really?
working at Hope for Youth and Families, thinking all the time, how best can every single dollar that I've invested here, how best can it be applied to the better development of Springfield youth? And it's really impressive.
He's always been a big supporter of the arts, but this has really taken it to another level.
It's called skin in the game. Yeah, it's really it's the highest level you could possibly invest.
Now, I mean, it's a pretty big facility. I mean, you've got the main stage, and you've got what used to be the Panache Theater years ago, but that whole venue there, and you're using all of it?
Yes, I have a curtain speech with every single act that we have come in. In my curtain speech, I talk about the fact that it's 45,000 square feet. Right? And so our mission is representative of that footprint. The main stage is a 500-seat sit-down venue, and it's only a small fraction of the entire place. And so you're right, we have a black box theater, which is fully functioning and has a sprung floor so we can have dance performances in there. Then we have a dance studio, and both sprung floors are by the same people that installed the Boston Ballet floor. They did our flooring. And then we have a music room, then we have 2 media labs, 2 for video editing, for audio editing, and then we have a visual arts studio, and then these 3 breakaway places for individual instrument classes and for creative writing and the like. It's really an incredible facility.
I don't think there's anything like that in this area. Is there?
No.
Some of the colleges may have some of this stuff, but not all of it.
No, consolidated like this, there's few places, even in the state, that have it at this level, and with the ability that we're hiring all of these local teaching artists to teach these classes. And so to combine our Grammy Award-winning performances at night, along with these free arts education programming during the day, and then crossing over. We have moments where the kids get to see the sound checks of these performers, and they get to do workshops with these performers. And so to have that crossover, it's a model that doesn't really exist in the country.
There's nothing like hands-on experience.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And the point is access, right? How do we take away as many of the boundaries for these young folks to have access to their own artistic expression and to the artistic expression of professionals?
Well, when you see something like that, too, the idea that for middle and high schoolers, and we're going to talk more about that in the second segment, but there's really no opportunities for them around here.
There's
not like this.
Right. To have the real thing, we looked at what was the big need, right? And the big need, I think, is just what you said about having facilities that are at the top level for them to be able to make the beats that they want to make and do the video editing that they want to make and do performances in our black box theater that they want to do. And that type of access doesn't exist. At the same time, Gary Bernice, who's running the arts, he's the head of all arts in all Springfield public schools. He's doing a lot in terms of how to get the schools connected to be able to utilize each other's resources and celebrate the work that everyone's doing, right? And so it's not that it's not happening in Springfield, it's that we want to be a part of the change that is happening in Springfield and have the center. We want to be a real center for all Springfield youth and all public school teachers to be able to come to.
Well, the other part of this, too, is like at a time where when you're looking at schools in Springfield or anywhere else, the first cuts usually made are in the arts.
That's exactly right.
Whether it's band or what any other kind of art, so to have this available to them now, filling that gap.
That's exactly right, and that's why I'm so appreciative for Bob to see that that's a gap that needs to be at the moment it needs to be privately funded, and hopefully we're going to be around forever, right? And we hopefully will be able to start to get more funding elsewhere, but we need that foothold to do that initial build, and I don't think it would have been possible any other way.
No. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Isaac and I are going to talk about the free after-school programs, more about that for the Hope Center for the Arts offers to Springfield Middle and High School students. Stay with us. Welcome back. We're talking about the Hope Center for the Arts with its artistic director, Isaac Eddy. Isaac, we touched on it in the first segment, but really the most exciting thing about the Hope Center, especially these after-school programs for Springfield and high school and middle students, too. Let's talk more about those programs and what the programs offer and the reason for them.
Yeah, so this is the real, like I said, this is the main mission of the Hope Center. And lots of people would think that our top-notch performers that we're bringing in during the evening is kind of the real deal, and then just kind of the frosting is the programming during the day. But for us, it's really the flip. And we had our first school programming during the summer. That was our very first time, and we had a full month in July, and we had 10 teaching artists and about 150 students each day for a month coming in. And then we switched to after-school programming for the fall. We just wrapped up that programming last week, and we're starting up our winter-spring programming in January 20th. Okay. Registration is open now, hopecenterforthearts.org/register. And all Springfield students are welcome for junior high and high school. They're all welcome to register, and it's free, and we hope to get a lot more folks to come. But the main mission is access for students to get exposed to forms of art that they're already interested in, and also forms of art that they don't even know about. And so they're encouraged to experiment, to try new forms of art, to fail, and to collaborate, and to work closely with their colleagues, but also to learn from these local teaching artists, for them to realize that art isn't something special for someone else to do. Art is for themselves to do. Art is for Springfield, and art is being made by all of these incredible artists right in this area. And so that kind of access is the main important thrust of our program.
And usually you don't get that kind of access until you head to college.
Right, exactly.
Or exposed to that kind of thing.
And the thing is, too, it's like this is a really expensive camera. You can't use this yet. You need a few months or a few years of training before you touch this camera. Or this canvas is this expensive visual art material. You can't use these paints yet. Or you can't use this lighting rig in this black box theater yet. What we do is they come into the Hope Center, they sign in, and they're handed, literally, like just handed a video camera that's worth thousands of dollars. Sure. And just say, just figure it out, play around, see what you can make from it yourself. And this is an agency that we're teaching these students, that they have the agency to have their own artistic expression, and also they are experts in their own experience, right? Mm-hmm. That they already are artists, and we want to create a space for them to explore all of these elements themselves.
Well, the other thing with that too is the element of trust. We trust you with this camera. We trust you with this piece of equipment, which really probably doesn't come a lot to kids of that age.
That's exactly right. And so there's ways in which, and we have to, you still have to have structure, right? Sure. And you need for young people to feel safe and to grow, you still need to have structure. But the structure that we have in this program is every rule is set up for them to be able to become better artists, right? So they should be able to see, like, oh, there's no running in the halls, not because that's just a rule. It's so that we can stay safe, so that students don't fall and hurt themselves, so that we lose our funding, or that they have to get pulled from the program because they have to go to the hospital, right? Like, sure. That doesn't make it so that you can become a better artist. So that's the reason why there's no running in the halls. You know what I mean?
One of the classes you offer, and we'll talk more about the instructors too, because the pool of talent in this area is really deep.
It's really exciting, yeah. So we have acting and directing, and that's in the Black Box Theater. We have photo making, and in the spring that's going to be also tied into photo making. It's going to be social media promotion and how to build different elements on social media. We have video making, we have visual art, that's painting and drawing, and a whole bunch of mask making and really, really great things in that class. We have beat making, and we have singing, and that's chorus, but also vocal performance. We have production lab, where any student can learn our top-of-the-line light board or sound board or live video board. And at the moment, and then we have hip-hop dance and lyrical dance and band.
Yeah, I think back on that. It's like, back when I was in high school, it's like we had a ditto machine, and that's about it. That was our AV. But to have access to this, I would have given anything for that, to be able to express yourself in a different way. Because It's not all about sports and everything else.
That's exactly right, yeah. And we have in the technology in the main stage alone, many millions of dollars was invested, right? So we have a hyper-real immersive sound system. We're only one of 2 sit-down venues in the country that has this sound system. And instead of it being locked up, and our technical director, Kyle, saying, nope, no one is allowed in this booth. Any kid who wants to come in and learn how to work on this multi-million-dollar system is welcome to.
Yeah, I'm amazed and blown away by all of this. Now, so right now, this is only open to students in Springfield and the high schools?
Yeah, so right now it's built for folks in the Springfield area. But if we are really about access. So if there's a student in Holyoke that wants to see what we're up to, honestly, like, please contact me and let's talk. So the point isn't to create boundaries. It's meant to, we are here for arts education, and yes, for the Springfield area, but the Springfield area, it can be wider than Springfield.
The other part of this too is that with everything that you have there, say if a student comes in, well, I want to learn more about television and television production. If they find they don't like that, they can look at some other area too, can't they?
Yes, I'm so glad you brought that up. So we want students to feel empowered to get an expertise in specific areas. But at the same time, we want them to continue to explore other elements of the arts. And that's because you don't know what you don't know. Mm-hmm. And so for the summer program, we have 4 blocks, 4 classes. And for the after-school program, we have 2 blocks. And in that, we encourage a student to take something that they already know and are really interested in. And in the other block, take something entirely new that you never even thought that you would like.
Sure.
And so this becomes it's all just this breeding ground for experimentation. And if you're new to singing, and there's some other student who's not new to singing, it's a great kind of hierarchical flattening where everybody's learning together, including the teaching artist. And there's only one thing that can come from that, and that is building confidence and self-expression and building empathy. And that is something that I think our youth need, and frankly, I think it's something that our country needs right now. And it's a place where we have a space for that kind of human development at the Hope.
Well, especially in an inner city like Springfield. I mean, again, as I mentioned before, it's like you don't see a lot of that, and the schools can't offer it because it's just an expense they can't afford anymore.
Right, exactly. And so a lot of our job is to connect with the administration at all of these public schools, and it's not a kind of finger-wagging situation where we're like, you don't have this, that's so terrible. It's what do you need? We are here. We have this facility. We have these opportunities. How can we best interface with you to support what you are doing at your school? And so that's after school, but also we have these opportunities during the day. We just did with Renaissance School. They came for the last 3 days of their term. They had students come to us for their intensive. So the last 3 days of the term, students can take a new class. And they had a whole bunch of folks sign up for performing arts. They came to our Hope Center, and we had hired teaching artists. And the best part of it is we thought we knew what they wanted to learn, but then we sat them down in our main stage and interviewed them, all of them, and said, okay, so what are you most interested in? These are our opportunities that we have to teach. And a lot of them were like, well, I thought I wanted this, but I actually would be interested in this. And we're like, great, we got you. We can shift around our curriculum and offer that to you in these 3 days. And I feel like that kind of ability to pivot based on student interest is vital. Okay. And you're right. It's hard in this day and age to be able to shift like that is really difficult. But you need to have like the resources to be able to do that, and the resources are scarce.
All right, we'll take another break.
Okay.
When we come back, Isaac and I are going to talk about some of the past and upcoming performances at the Hope Center for the Arts. Stay with us. Back now, our final segment with Isaac Eddy, who's the artistic director for the Hope Center for the Arts. I just want to follow up, and we'll finish up on this, but as far as getting kids there, you offer transportation, and so that's not an issue for them if it had been.
Yeah, that's something that we've been really wrestling with is you can't just have your doors open and have something be free, right? There's all these other elements of access that we need to be able to work with families and work with students to make sure that they can utilize all of what we have to offer. And so we have, Bob, Hope for Youth and Families bought a van for us to be able to connect with 4 or 5 specific schools, and so we're bringing students with our own van from those schools. We have some schools that are able to provide their own transportation, and then we are working more and more with the PVTA, that there's a lot of PVTA stops that students already use, right? And instead of taking the PVTA to their home, they can take it to the Hope Center. So it's not a fully fixed problem, but we are continuing to make it better and better.
Let's talk about some of the events you've already held there and what you've got coming up.
Yeah, so we just wrapped our very first season on Saturday with the Blind Boys of Alabama, and before that we had Take 6, we had Bela Fleck and the Beat Trio, we had Judy Collins, we had Sweet Honey in the Rock, we had we had John Pizzarelli, we had Rafiq Bhatia, we had Yo-Yo Ma simulcast, we had 12 shows that were just really top-notch.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what's coming up?
We have on January 9th, we have Take Me to the River, which I'm really excited about. It's a big ensemble from New Orleans. Some of the Nevilles are performing, and it's going to be a great show. And then A Winter's Tale is coming after that. And then we have a few more that haven't been announced that are coming up a little bit later. But Young at Heart, the amazing ensemble, they're going to be coming back to Springfield. They haven't been performing for a while. Yeah, and I had the honor to guest direct their show last fall, and they're going to be coming back to our space in March.
They're amazing.
Yeah, really, really inspiring.
Absolutely amazing. The students get, you mentioned hands-on experience working these events.
Yes, so we have any student that is interested is invited to stay after the after-school program and stay on to help us work the show. And we haven't had a ton ton of students take us up on that, and that's because they have so many other things in their lives. But the students that have, it's been truly transformative. It's been one of my greatest parts of the job is to see them learn about this performance thing during the day and then stay and have these world-renowned artists literally walk in the door, set up their stuff, sound check, and they're just there soaking it all in. And suddenly there's no boundary between what they are doing in their junior high brain to what is done professionally.
Now, as we just got a little bit of time left, you're having an open house and tours of the Hope Center starting this Tuesday?
Yes, yeah. So we have December 30th, and then just the next week in January, we're going to be open all day. I'll be there. Our technical director, Kyle Homestead, will be there, and I bet Bob Bolduc will be there as well. Yeah. And so it's just drop in, 10 to 7. Come in whenever. We'll have refreshments. We'll be happy to give you a tour. And the point of the open house is primarily to get families to know what we're all about so that they can sign their students up for the after-school program. But if you're interested in just seeing what we're all about and you have some ideas of other students that might want to sign up, come on by.
All right. We are out of time. Isaac, we'll have you back. There's just so much to talk about. This is so exciting.
I really appreciate it.
Love to hear about it. Isaac, thank you. The Hope Center for the Arts. Make sure you check it out. That does it for us. Last show of 2025. Have a happy and safe New Year. We'll see you in 2026.
If you're looking